Thank you for subscribing to the Extra Mile Podcast. Help us out by leaving a review and a 5-star rating wherever you download the show. After leaving a review, slide on into our DMs over on social media at Mississippi DOT and let us know. As a thank you, we have compiled a Google Map list of all of our guests' favorite spots to eat on Mississippi highways. It is our gift to you. Seriously, you guys are the best. We could not do the show without you, and we greatly appreciate the support. Remember, drive smart out there on Mississippi highways.
MDOT presents the Extra Mile Podcast.
Welcome into another edition of the Extra Mile Podcast. I am Will Kraft, working over at MDOT. I am solo today. If you'll notice, my co-host Paul Couture is out of the office, having some good stuff, some good times out there. I believe he's down in Natchez, so if you run into him, give him a hard time out there. But the 2025 legislative session is underway, and we are here today with House Ways and Means Chairman Trey Lamar to talk about what is, if not, the biggest piece of legislation, especially for MDOT concerns, in quite some time. So first off, thank you, Chairman. We greatly appreciate the efforts and getting that conversation started.
Will, I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today and look forward to talking about House Bill 1.
Yeah, and with that being said, let's just get right into it. So how did this come to be, and where are we at today?
So, Will, House Bill 1 is our effort to eliminate the income tax in the state of Mississippi and cut the grocery tax in half, and also fix our historic funding problems when it comes to how we fund and pay for our highway system in the state of Mississippi. This is an effort, obviously, we started working on reducing the income tax back in 2016, I believe it was, when we first had our first bill. And then at that point in time, we've continued to reduce it. And now, 10 years into it, we're at a place where we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we can go ahead and put into legislation the actual full elimination of the tax on work in Mississippi. As part of that, we've come up with a way to incorporate additional funding for MDOT, so we can, for once and for all, finally take care of our highways and our infrastructure system, as well as our state aid roads and our multimodal with rails and ports and airports across the state, to the tune of about $500 million each year in recurring funding for those programs.
As you just mentioned there, the House bill incorporates lots of things, all kind of stuff going on in there. Specific to MDOT, though, lots of good stuff. Let's break some of those numbers down some more.
Yeah, I'm glad to. So, Will, we've got House Bill 1 would add as part of the tax cut process, we also move some other taxes around as we move toward a more consumption-based tax code here in Mississippi. We would add a 5% sales tax on the retail sale of fuel, and that would be wouldn't affect farmers or manufacturing or maritime fuel, but really anybody using the roads in the state of Mississippi.
Right.
Like a user fee. If you use it, you're going to pay for it. And so we would put a 5% sales tax, incorporate that into the price that's paid at the pump.
Right.
That would generate approximately, on average, around $400 million per year in additional funding for MDOT. In addition to that, we would add a 1.5 cent sales tax at the city level and at the county level outside of the cities. That would go to help give additional money inside the cities to our cities that they could in turn use for city streets, infrastructure, things of that nature. Each city in the state would get a 15% increase to the amount of funding that they currently get. And the sales tax, the 1.5% local sales tax out in the counties would generate about $80 million, and that money would go to add additional funding to the Office of State Aid Road Construction.
Okay.
In addition to that, the multimodal program at MDOT would get about another $20 to $25 million in annual recurring revenue from the lottery proceeds.
Yeah.
And all told, it's $500 million. It's over $500 million in new money for those transportation and infrastructure systems.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing, you said this, I think, explicitly already, but I want to make sure I paint this point. We're not talking about just an MDOT bill. We're not talking about just an airports bill. I mean, this is all encompassing. We're going to hit every aspect of infrastructure essentially in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah, that's right. And we do it as part of an overall large tax cut, so we're not burdening the people. We will be cutting over the 10-year period of the bill $2.2 billion in annual current annual money that's coming into the state by way of taxes. That will be cut out of our state revenue, or be replaced with the taxes that I just talked about that are about roughly $1 billion, and that leaves us with about a $1.1 billion net tax cut for the working people of Mississippi.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to be said. I want to make sure, we're very appreciative, and obviously, we've had statements out there right now from our chairman and executive director, Brad White, and chairman of the commission, supported the bill. Look, I'm sure there are folks out there, right, that probably have issues and problems with this. They want to change this, that, and the other. It may not be perfect for everybody. Yeah. It's a work in progress, but man, to have such a large net tax cut that is going to impact every day, man, me, my wife, my kids, it helps me put more groceries on the table while also shoring up, our state's infrastructure system. And then the last piece of the puzzle we haven't really talked about yet, and again, this is not necessarily MDOT, but all state employees. PERS is getting a little shoring up out of this too.
Because we were able to provide $500 million plus to the infrastructure system, to PERS and Office of State Aid Roads. We're able to take the existing lottery money that we're currently spending that's going to MDOT, right, and we're going to take the first $100 million of that lottery system and put it into the PERS system to shore it up on an annual recurring basis in perpetuity. And so that additional $100 million a year would go to PERS, and would continue to go to PERS until PERS becomes 80% funded, which is what we need to help us continue to make those promises for the state's retarees.
It's good stuff. I mean, again, doing all those cuts and slashing, but still shoring up so many other things that are critical,
Yeah, it's and what that does, the last several years, MDOT and PERS concerns about how funding highways, paying for highways, how we're going to continue to shore up our retirement system, those have taken a kind of a strain on our state general fund. Sure. So by finding dedicated funding sources for those needs of government and those real core functions of government, we're able to free up that strain on our general fund, which allows us to reduce taxes elsewhere and eliminate the tax on work, which would be great for working people of our state.
Absolutely. I'm scared to even ask this. I'm sure there exists, but have you heard any negative feedback, any things?
Well, the only negative I've heard are people that have not taken the opportunity to look at the numbers. They think it may be too good to be true or can't be true, but we've got all the numbers to back it up. DOR has run the numbers. We've looked at it, every way you can look at it, and the numbers bear out. If you're a working person in this state, you're going to see a substantial net tax cut to your bottom line. And even if you don't pay income taxes currently, it may not help you a lot, but it doesn't hurt you.
That's very true. Very true. How you think about that? Yeah. Doesn't hurt you at all.
No, it doesn't hurt you, because if you don't pay income taxes, you certainly are buying groceries because you're eating, and we're cutting the grocery tax substantially, and that's where the savings are made up there.
And again, hey, even those people out there, that may not pay income taxes, I'm sure they want a good road too. So
they certainly do.
We'll get a piece of that as well.
Yeah.
Well, aside from House Bill 1, again, we will. I'm certain beat this horse to the proverbial death over the coming weeks and months. And as passionate as you are about this, and me as well, I'm sure we're going to get tired of talking about it after.
That's okay. We need to get this across the finish line. I've worked closely with Speaker Jason White on this bill, and through his office and the messaging that we're able to get out, we have met with. Spent yesterday meeting with the entire road building community, the entire business community through the BIPEC organization, which reaches across multiple sectors, and every city, all the mayors are in town this week. And I spent a considerable amount of time yesterday meeting with the cities and mayors and explaining the bill to them. And once they understand it, and they realize that this is an overall net tax cut for the citizens, and at the same time provides 15% more funding for cities to take care and service the real needs of their citizens in their local towns and cities, they jumped on board, and they are very supportive of the effort.
I love to hear it. Anytime we can get all hands, and all the mouths singing off the same sheet of music, good things will happen.
That's right.
And no better time. I think we talked about this with the speaker when he was on with us a couple months ago, but it just seems like there's a lot of things pulling in the right direction.
Well, we hope so. I mean, this is a huge effort. One thing I want to emphasize a little bit more is that the Office of State Aid Road Construction has been underfunded and running about an $80 to $100 million deficit every year. To the tune where the counties, our boards of supervisors, have made it their number one issue. And so by getting an additional $80 million in funding to the Office of State Aid Roads is really exciting for our boards of supervisors across the state, because those are real needs in every county, all 82 counties from Tennessee to the Gulf Coast.
Absolutely. Love to see it. I love to see it. I think that it's probably about all the questions I can ask you as far as that bill goes there. We're going to be working hard on it. We'll get it through the finish line as quickly and as efficiently as we possibly can. Any other legislation that you got your eye on?
Well, we'll have some other tax credit legislation, some business-friendly legislation, and then obviously we're blessed with surpluses that we need to. That we're going to look at spending at the end of the session, and hopefully we'll all be able to agree to do that in a wise way that helps folks back home.
Absolutely. We're just getting kicked off over here. I say you guys just getting kicked off.
Right.
We're halfway through the second week. About 12 more weeks to go. Lots of work to be done.
Yeah, we hit the ground running this year, that's for sure.
Absolutely,
so,
getting that thing through committee quick.
Well, I really appreciate MDOT. I appreciate the employees of MDOT. I know they work hard all over the state, and thank you for what you do.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you saying that. With that, folks, we'll wrap it up. Thank you again, Chairman Lamar, for having us over. We're over here in your office today, taking up your time, so greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate all the work on this bill and the legislation, everything else for MDOT that you've been a part of. To our folks out there listening, appreciate you. I will not even attempt to give the exact spiel that Paul does at the end of every episode, because he's got it ironed out, but go check us out where podcasts are found. Thank y'all for listening with us, and drive safe out there on Mississippi Road.